So this is Councillor Bill Armer, who's been knocking around for quite a while. He's actually a Tory. I think I'm sure he's from the Deaton or Bradley area. I might be wrong about that. But he knocks around, he's like that John Taylor guy is, they're knocking around all different council areas, and if they can't get in one seat in one area, they'll get to another area. They're not really bothered what seat they get, but they manage to get one, right? He came around knocking doors around our area a few years ago, and he plays like he doesn't know anything. Although I don't really know what he was coming around knocking doors for, because he didn't really speak to us about anything. I don't know if we were pushing leaflets through or what. But he's meant to be a Tory, a Conservative, right? His name is always interesting. I'm quite certain that he's actually called William. He's called William Armer. And that is actually it could be like interpreted as comedy, like William Armer, right? But he calls himself Bill Armer. My granddad was called William, and some people called him Bill. So the name Bill Armer, it makes you think of the right to petition, right? Because when you petition, if you know the law and if you know the right to petition, that you've got privileges. It's the right of the subjects to petition the king, and all prosecutions and commitments for doing so are illegal. You're protected, right? You've effectively meant to have a shield and armour, right? And protected. Now, I did actually see Bill, and I did actually, when he was not on the occasion when he came to our house, but I've only seen him on 2 occasions knocking doors, and on the other occasion, I actually asked him about petitioning rights and so forth, and he kind of played a bit dumb. He was kind of like, he reckoned, he made out that he didn't really know anything, right, about it, when I think that he does. Because what I've learned, you see, he's a lot older. I think he's a lot older than Barry Shearman as well. He must be older than Barry Shearman. So he's been in and around council probably longer than Barry Shearman's been an MP, right? Now, what I've discovered, because of that tumultuous Petitioning Act 1661, was only repealed in 1986, right? So Armer's got to be knocking around council at least around 1986, right? Although the council in Huddersfield, the building wasn't built until 1973. I think it was 1973. Our council used to be in Wakefield. It was like Wakefield County Council, a very large area. So we didn't actually have a council here until they created Cllr Council. So Cllr Council's only really a little bit older than me, really. But so I would have thought Bill Armer's at least been knocking around this council since it was formed, right? Now, 1973, 86. So there'll have been about 16 years in between that council actually being created, invented, built, and a new Metropolitan Council being formed, and that tumultuous Petitioning Act being repealed, which was just after all miners' strikes, right? So that's 16 years for, I'm sure Armer will be active and knocking around in those 16 years. Now, petitions which had more than 20 signatures had to be approved through a court, right, to go to Parliament. And you can appeal from the council to Parliament. Whoever is saying that you can is lying, right? Because even in 2010 they had an order saying that if there's 5% signatures of an area obtained, then it cannot be heard by the local council. So who's going to hear it? Well, apparently we get a referendum, but who gives you the referendum? Well, Parliament give you it, the Secretary of State. So it is Parliament decided that they can't be bothered debating it, and they're going to give a local referendum. Now, this is the thing. I think it was around 1970, 71, so just before 73, when they got rid of the assizes and the quarter sessions, okay? So They will never have had an assizes and quarter sessions in Huddersfield at this new, because the council building, the police station and the court were probably all built together in the new civic centre. So they wouldn't have had assizes or quarter sessions. Now, they used to have them in the town hall, so they will have been in Wakefield, right? And then they invented the Crown Court and the Magistrates' Court, but they must have been hearing some cases between 1973 and 1986, right? And also, remember that the mayor of the town was also a Justice of the Peace, so he was a judge as well for quite a while, until they removed that position from them, and also the chairman of the council, right? Now, MPs' seats, when you bring an election petition against an MP, that would have been heard in the town hall, right? So if they were contesting like Barry Sheeman's seat, it would have been held in a town hall, right, with the justices coming round. In fact, they might have actually, because there isn't I don't think there's a Crown Court in Huddersfield. There's a Crown Court in Leeds and there's a Crown Court in Bradford, and I don't know if there was one in Halifax, but that's a Magistrates' Court anyway at Huddersfield. They might have had the justices coming round into the Huddersfield Town Hall at one point. I'm not sure if they did the quarter sessions or not until they got rid of them. But this is the Town Hall, right, is one of the core of the council, right, the Town Hall. So generally around England, right, they'd be hearing these petition. If someone wanted to petition Parliament, they'd have to get permission or consent, and it turns out they were all going to the town hall, right? They were getting consent from the town hall, right? And I won't be surprised if the mayor was sitting in there sometimes, like in that William Penn trial. So councillors who are on the council and the mayor are. There's a very close connection between the town hall and them having sessions for petitions, right? Because you could actually appeal. You could actually get a jury as well. You could have a jury in a local council decision, right? So the jury's going to be in the town hall. The jury with the assize judge is going to be in the town hall, right? You could opt to have a jury, so it won't be decided by the councillors, aldermen. You'd have a jury, or you could have it referred to Parliament. But if you were getting a lot of signatures behind it, you need consent. Well, who gives you consent? Well, you get consent in the town hall. Likely, probably from, it could even be the chairman of the council or the mayor, right? So they're actually sending petitions off to Parliament from the town hall, right? Now, that must have been carrying on up till 1986. And I think Armer, right, knows all about it. And I think Armer has witnessed it. And I think he knows that when you get it approved to Parliament, you're getting privileges and the right to petition, and you're literally armed, you're protected, right? And I think that he's playing on that with his name, Bill Armer, because he's like, I'm a councillor, right? He's a politician, he's engaged in politics, I'm Bill Armer, right? And even the councillors could send them off to Parliament and get them armed with their protections. So this is, but when I asked him about it, he was like, oh, I'm a dumpling, right? He was literally like, oh, up. He didn't want to talk about it. So this is why I don't like councillors. He's got the name, right? But he don't want to use his mouth and talk about it, right? And this is what's happening with councils now, corruption. Oh, and with the petitions committee in Parliament, you can't petition about this, can't petition about, when they're just lying. And even rejecting ones that have been approved. I had something approved, and then I submitted it to the Welsh Parliament, and they said, oh, you can't, they rejected it when it can't possibly have not been up to standards. So we're getting conned by these people because really they want actually to make all the decisions. Political parties are actually... They're treating us like whips, really. What the culture is now is that MPs are getting whipped like Starmer. If they don't vote Starmer's away, they'll never stand for Labour again, right? And what the councillors are doing to us is they're whipping us, but they're not. They're whipping us with misinformation, and they're whipping us with lies, and they're whipping us with obstructions. and saying that we can't do this, we can't do that, or we don't know this and we don't know that, when actually it's their standards that are falling below. And this is actually where we are now. They're whipping us and saying that we don't know what we're talking about or we're wrong, when actually it's them who are lying, it's them who are corrupt, and it's them who are actually doing all the cheating. I'm not blaming Bill Armer particularly, but just generally, that's what I found. So, you know, I would be very, 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 very surprised if Armer has not encountered that process through the Tumultuous Petitioning Act before 1986, where the councils were referring appealing matters to the Parliament from the local council.